If you want a biometric safe with every possible combination of entry, then the cdazvzxvxcv is your safe. You can open it with a fingerprint scan, digital keypad, RFID card, or through your smartphone. And also, don't forget the good old-fashioned analog key. But if that's not good enough for you, you can get this sold separate button key fob, or if you want voice activation, you can get this little white box, and then you can yell at Alexa to open the safe for you. Now, during my test, I confirmed the lid is 11 gauge still, as you can see here. They say the lid is drill proof. So if it's really drill proof, then that means it's hardened still. So I tested the lid with this cheap $2,200 UCI tester just to see how hard it is. The finish is very hard, coming at 65 Rockwell hardness, but still the finish easily dremels off, and the bare metal comes in at 45 HRC. Yes, it's hardened still, as hard as your Colt 1911, that is. Be forewarned, the safe is 100% programmed through your smartphone. Good news is it's always quick to connect to Bluetooth, and it's super easy to reprogram the safe through the app. When it comes to the wet and powder test, it was not the best performer, and I barely gave it a pass, and my conscience is still bugging me on that. cdazvzxvxcv states it opens in 0.3 of a second, but in reality it comes in at 1 second flat. And now on to the bad news. The safe has bugs. Not those bugs, but these bugs. And I'll show you live right here what just happened. One time I went to open it, and there you go. It did exactly that. Put the lid down, it didn't latch it, and I had to cycle the safe like this, and then I was able to lock it. Now the other issue, hold on. Maybe I didn't give enough time, so here we go. That shouldn't be an issue. The cdazvzxvxcv safe gets a marginal rating from us. It's still a million times better than that Bill Conch safe, and in the end, that's all that really matters. The AllSafe is the fastest biometric safe we've ever tested. It only took 0.4 of a second to unlock the safe. Its gas strut was on the slower side, as you can see here, and the lid doesn't open even close to Century's 79 degrees of opening. But AllSafe is still the king when it comes to the biometric scanner time. When you first pull the AllSafe from the box, it feels lighter than the 10 pounds that AllSafe states, and the scale never lies, as the AllSafe comes in at just 8 pounds. 3 ways of entry: fingerprint, digital number pad, or with these 2 keys. Now onto the wet and powder test. The AllSafe biometric scanner is super sensitive to the wet test, as you can see here. Even with multiple scans of the same fingerprint, it failed the wet test. It did fare better with the powder test, so in all, it gets a marginal rating from these tests. In normal operation, the AllSafe did run bug-free. These would make a good storage safe, or one to keep the kids away from your firearms. This is not my go-to bump in the night type of safe, it's more of my storage safe, so it gets a marginal plus from us. This is Amazon Basics programmable biometric safe with an impressive 61,760 ratings with a 4.5 star average. It features a 500 dpi semiconductor. They say less than 1 match speed, so let's just see how fast the safe will open. Now let's run the gauntlet test to see just how well the scanner runs. We're going to do just like a sweaty finger challenge on this thing, just a damp finger right here. You see a little bit of fluid on there, see if it works. We're in, do it again. See, there's some amount of fluid on the actual scanner, so let's go ahead and do the powdered finger here. As you can see, there's a good amount of powder there. Let's see if that causes any issues. We're in, let's do it again. Let it reset. Wipe my finger off. There you go. So a pretty responsive scanner. Can hold 50 individual fingerprints, and the lifetime of the sensor is 1 million times. And I will not be testing that. Heavy duty construction with an 8 gauge steel door and a 14 gauge steel body. Features 2 live door bolts and pry resistant concealed hinges. As you can see here, it features 2 backup keys. These are 2-sided security keys for a little bit added security. Good old Jeff gives you a 1-year warranty. He really is almost the richest man in the world after all. For the safe that's functioned well, it definitely is on the cheaper side, and the sensor being so small can cause misalignments. It's passed our basic test and is recommended for a budget biometric safe. If you're looking for a reliable mid-tier safe with a solid build, then the Century biometric safe has been a flawless performer. Coming in at 12 pounds with a thick 12 gauge steel lid, we love its powerful gas strut, and you will find yourself using it as a makeshift catapult. There are 3 ways of entry, starting with a biometric finger scanner, digital number pad, or good old-fashioned keys. The biometric scanner is on the small side, and you will have to place your finger precisely or risk the red light of no entry. But if you do, the biometric scanner opens in 1 second flat. One other thing besides the small scanner size is the limit of only 10 fingerprints. Fortunately, it's a good quality scanner and works well with only 1 print. Some other safes need multiple scans of the same finger for better performance, but that's not the case with this entry safe. When it comes to my wet and powder test, it performed well, and it got a pass from us. It's not the best performer, but good enough. With all my testing, lots of opening and closing, it's performed 100%. If you want a good biometric safe you can count on, then this Sentry Safe is a good performer that also offers good protection for its price point. The Sentry Safe is part of our long-term testing project and gets a pass from us.
Alright, so these saves, I put them through my tests. They performed, It was good enough for a pass for this Onanis and Nero. They're almost the same type of saves. There's a few differences, as you can see visually. So the performance wasn't great already. My brother likes to pick things, and my brother was like, hey, you can pick this with a nail clipper. And I was like,
China.
That's good to know. I don't really care now if a safe requires an actual real lock picking setup. I'm fine. I'll pass the safe. Most of situations when someone breaks in your house, they're not going to be using a damn magnet. They're not going to be picking your damn safe. They're not going to have any skills. They're going to smash and grab, blah blah blah. But I do want an actual mechanism that can't just be popped open with a damn nail clipper. Now this one's already broken, so that's why all it requires is a little bit of picking, and you'll be able to, it already broke. It's so cheap it broke just picking a few times, but it's going to be the same thing. You're going to need something a little thinner than this. You'll stick it up in a little hole and just pick around, and then simply it'll open up just like that because it's toy grade. Now, I'm not going to recommend a toy grade product. That's where I draw the line. So when it comes to weird names like Onanis or Nero, stay away from any safe that doesn't have a no name. You know, you're better off with the Hornadays, your Verify, or your V-Line. Stick with those. Stick with brand names you at least know. You'll get a semi-decent thing. Everything that sucked has been some kind of weird name, like a Bill Conk or a Ness. So stay away from those. This is my little safe tip of the day.